we're back and we're going to be talking about finding equivalent fractions. Here's a problem from this week's quiz. Use the number line to find the fraction at f, then find a fraction that is equivalent to point f. So first, I have to figure out where f is. I'm going to count the intervals or the spaces between one whole. Here's 0, box it, here's 1. This is one whole. Now I need to count the number of intervals in one whole because that's going to be my denominator. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just count the spaces and there are 4 intervals in one whole, which means my denominator must be 4. Now I'm going to skip count by 1/4 to label all points on the number line. So this is 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Okay, so I know that f is at 3/4. Now I need to find a fraction that is equivalent to 3/4. Okay, if I do that on number line, let me think. First, let me make the same exact number line. I'm going to line up all the points that are already there. 1, 0. And I know my fraction must be right here. Okay, let me think. I know that 2 fractions are equivalent on a number line if they're at the same exact point. How can I show a different fraction? What if I partition each interval into more equal parts? That means each interval is going to get smaller. Okay, let me try. Let me break up each interval into 2 parts. So break each one into 2. Now let me see how many total parts do I have. Let me count the intervals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 total parts, which means 8 is my denominator. Now let me count on from 0 to label each point. 0 eighths, 1 8, 2 eighths, 3 eighths, 4 eighths, 5 eighths, 6 eighths, 7 eighths, 8 eighths. Okay, so then I know that 3/4 is equivalent or equal to 6 eighths because they're both at the same exact point on a number line. There's another way I could have solved for this too. I know that 2 fractions are equivalent if they're at the same point on a number line or if they take up the same amount of space in equally sized holes. So I could have also just drawn a visual model. Make 2 equally sized holes. There you go. First, let me show 3/4. Shade in 3. This is 3/4. Then I could have think, how can I shade something in that takes up the same amount of space? So partition it into 4s. And again, I can make more smaller equal pieces. Same thing I did here, partition into halves again. And then shade in the same amount. So it takes up the same amount of space. So then I would have seen that 3/4 is equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8 equal parts. So remember, kids, to know that 2 fractions are equivalent, that means they are at the same exact point on a number line or they take up the same amount of space in an equally sized whole. When you're trying to go from one fraction to another, it's easy to think to make equivalent fractions. It's easy to think, is there a way I can make more smaller equal pieces? Thank you so much. Bye-bye.